Hi, I'm Kathy Forste, Music Director at KC Café Radio. Today we have the great pleasure of chatting with Larry Robbins. Larry is an emotional, thoughtful, and inspiring singer-songwriter who has become a favorite here on KC Café Radio. And we are pleased to have him chatting with us today. Thank you, Larry, for chatting with us today on KC Café Radio.
Thank you for that nice intro. I hope I can live up to it. So the challenge is thrown down already. So
yeah. Well, everything is very true. I mean, your songs are very emotional and thoughtful, and inspiring, like I said. When did you start songwriting? At what point in your life did you start songwriting?
Well, I would tell you that probably late 30s, early 40s. It's just something that I've always had in the back of my mind. And when I was working for a living in the corporate world, there wasn't a lot of time for that. And as I got later into it, there was more and more time to it. So I really wanted to throw myself into it. Although I did try to incorporate music into some of the corporate things that we did. So little by little, I got a chance to expand on that. So.
And how did that manifest itself when you try to bring music into things? Was it like?
So interesting. I was in the corporate food business. Okay. We did promotional food gifts that had corporate logos on them. Anyway, long story short, we did food gifts that were edible nuts and chocolates and popcorn, good things to eat. So I had written some songs, and when I did a trade show, there was one I did called Mixed Nuts, which is on my website. And I used to go to trade shows and sing my Mixed Nuts songs as people walk by. And it would bring them in, for better or worse, it would bring them in. So they had never seen anybody singing at a trade show. Yeah. So that was the way I would do things like that. And then wrote some songs about our business and that kind of thing.
Yeah. So were these trade shows, were they food trade shows? Were they like for?
They were, it was the promotional products business. So anything, envision a whole convention center filled with stuff that you could put a corporate logo on. So, I was selling food gifts. The guy next to me was selling golf balls. The guy next to him was selling T-shirts, So the corporate owners would walk around and try and find the perfect item for their industry, and for us, it was holiday gifts. So
I see.
That's how I get into it. But anyway, so that's that chapter in my life is over, and then really concentrated more on writing songs. So that's kind of the brief intro into that kind of thing.
So do you remember what the first song was that you wrote and how old you were when you wrote it?
Well, it's interesting. And I know that you're familiar with my friend, Kerry Clark, and I record with Kerry. And funny story, this was probably 20 years ago that I met Kerry, and we were participating in a school play. When the kids graduated from high school, the parents put on a skit. So, I was on a skit committee, and some of the parents were talking about doing musical songs that would kind of portray the kids, about their trips or their baseball team or dance team, whatever, life in high school. So I'm with the skit committee, and they said, let's do, a song about the kids and the baseball. And somebody said, well, let's do a song and we'll sing it to the tune of Take Me Out to the Ball Game. I said, stop. I got to tell you, I can't do that. Let me write a song. And long story short, I probably wrote 7 songs, printed songbooks for all of the parents. These were original compositions. And that's how I met my buddy, Kerry Clark. Somebody knew Kerry and said, hey, Kerry has a studio. And that's how we met. I was laying down tracks for the parents to learn how to sing these original songs. So that was the kickoff. And I have 2 other children, and all 3 skits all had original tunes in them. So that was it. And then one thing led to another, and then more and more, started doing more pop, country, singer-songwriter kind of things. So that's kind of how I met Kerry, and we're still going strong. I have some studio time booked with him this week, and we're ready to do some more tunes.
That's awesome. Yeah, Kerry's an immensely talented guy, extremely nice guy. He's been a friend of KC Cafe Radio for at least 10, 12 years now. So
I will second that. He is amazing to work with and very patient. So that's good. Yeah, no, it's good. It's great. It's great.
Yeah. So when you write, so now you write songs, I'm guessing for yourself, right? Mostly not necessarily for other people, but for yourself.
Yeah, I think any singer-songwriter has that personal feel there, that it starts with that, something that kind of tugs on your own heartstrings. So yeah, I fit, into that mold. And some are silly, some are heartfelt, so I've got kind of a wide range things. And it's interesting. Kerry says, like, every song with you is different, so in other words, I don't know if I fit into one kind of genre or not, but so that, and I do try and make them a little bit different too, different feels. So
yeah. I was just gonna say, all of your songs are extremely varied. You can't say, well, that sounds like a Larry Robbins song, because it's,
right. So when you ask me what's my genre, the answer is I have no idea, all of the above kind of thing.
Yeah. I think when you say singer-songwriter, that's just like a broad category we throw people in that write their own music. So can you do a song for us right now?
Sure. So the latest song I did is kind of a protest song of my own. This is a song, when I work with Kerry, we have multiple tracks. I said, Kerry, I got a song that kind of speaks to our country's great divide. It's not really a protest or political song, but it was kind of, my feeling on where the country was heading. And this was unique that it was kind of one track, guitar and voice at the same time. So if you messed up, it was recorded that way. We had a guitar mic, we had a vocal mic, and if there was a mistake or something you wanted to redo, you had to redo everything. So this was, as I'll use the term, very naked for me. It was kind of one track, one and done kind of thing. So this is my song called Things We Contemplate. Things We Contemplate. Time is money, so they say, and wasted moments never pay. Opportunities that fade, moments thrown away. But when a moment so profound, it screams for justice to be found, and those who dare not make a sound, but preach of common ground. You and I, we strategize, the call to bridge that great divide. A willingness to compromise, push, pull, give, and take. This moment visualize success not based on one's demise. How we respond when others cry, things we contemplate. Absorb this moment, realize the need to simply humanize. And what's our role to verbalize the reckless it creates? You and I, we theorize the urge to bridge the great divide. A willingness to compromise, push, pull, give, and take this moment, take this challenge, can't ignore the signs. It's our moment, how will be defined? Share your spirit, show compassion, visions that align. Lift, raise, reach, strain, move, stretch, teach, gain, push, pull, give, and take. This moment agonize. The bias need to polarize and question those who demonize and those who cast our fate. Grief for those who eulogize, dread for those who agonize. We pray your strength to galvanize those who bear the weight. You and I, we realize the plea to bridge the great divide. A willingness to compromise. Push, pull, give, and take to heart. Compassion starts with those who comprehend. Divisiveness we're trying to amend. Why must one politicize, despise, and condescend? Spark, speak, inspire, yearn, touch, dare, listen, learn, push, pull, give, and take. This moment analyze equality that's jeopardized. Those who have to organize and those who hesitate. Breathe, this moment empathize. The pain when viewed through others' eyes. The role we play when we surmise. And knowing what's at stake. And knowing what's at stake. Things we contemplate.
Beautiful.
Thank you. Things we contemplate. Yeah, kind of heavy for me, you know, but, and again, I've never done a song like that, kind of just bare bones.
Yeah, that's beautiful. I think when it's less produced, you know, the message of the song really comes through a lot clearer, I think, to people. So
totally get it. Yeah. So that's, that was that one. And the next one will be 80 tracks. You know what I mean? So
yeah, exactly.
It's, so, okay.
So the lyrics in that song would fit greeting cards really well. So tell me about your greeting card thing that you've started as well.
Oh, the greeting card. Well, so my very first song was a song called Mausoleations, which is a combination of the Hebrew word mazel tov and congratulations. And okay, yeah. So, and I had a good friend, and my wife and the friend are talking, and I'm watching football, and somewhere they're chatting, and I hear the word mausoleations. I said, stop, wait, what? What did you say? And she said, mausoleations, you know, mazel tov. I said, that word is amazing. And I said, right then and there, I'm going to write a song called Mausoleations, which I did. And that was my very first song that I did with Kerry. And I thought that would have a great attraction for greeting cards, you know, for those special occasions. So we came up with a line of greeting cards and came up with some sayings, and that's the story on Mausoleations.
That's pretty cool. I never thought of that before. That's a really cool idea. So tell me about how you started playing music. Were you from a musical family? Was guitar your first instrument?
Guitar was my first instrument. Yes. So I was probably 13 years old, and my father actually was taking guitar lessons and had some kind of a skin infection on the back of his neck, and couldn't put the strap on his guitar, and asked me to kind of take the guitar lessons. So I filled in, jumped in, and then the rest, as they say, is history. So I was probably 13. Played in rock bands, all through high school and college. And after college, I'm in Ohio here. And after high school, most of my buddies went to Ohio State, but I was playing music and meeting women. And, why would I want to leave that and go to college, kind of thing. So after college, I hooked up with an agent, and I started traveling between here in Pennsylvania doing Holiday Inn and Ramada Inns. And, I was a lounge lizard. And remember, those were the days before ESPN and satellite radio and that kind of thing. So, and that is the hardest job I ever did. Imagine playing in Elyria, Ohio on a Wednesday night, and I'm singing my Jim Croce song and my James Taylor song, and I had my little drum machine, and it had settings like Bossa Nova 1, Bossa Nova 2, Rock 1, Rock 2, and I'm singing my songs, and the guy at the bar says, "Hey, shut up, man, I can't hear the ball game," So that was the hardest job I ever did, and to this day, I will always, always, always applaud for live musicians. It's just, that was a gut wrencher. So that was a tough job.
Yeah. Do you still go out and do gigs? Are you still gigging?
I haven't so much. It's on my radar to do. COVID got in the way, and I'm busy writing my own songs, and I understand to do that. You need to learn a lot of covers, and I'm kind of torn on that. Playing covers. But I do realize that nobody wants to hear original music all the time, and it's like when you go to that concert and the band says, "We're going to play a song off of our new album," and everybody goes, "Woo!" We want to hear the stuff we know. We don't want to hear anything new. So I get the struggle and I understand it. I'm just not mentally there yet to, so that's my own hurdle, is to decide that, do you want to play covers or not? So
yeah, I'm sort of at the same place. I've been playing out since probably 1990, off and on throughout my life, and doing the covers. When I do covers that are different. I want to make the cover my own. I don't want to just do a straight cover.
Right.
I don't want to sound like the Eagles when I play a song. I want to sound like
That's
Kathy
exactly
Forste
right.
doing an Eagles cover. So I've been doing that and then playing my own stuff mostly. And it's a struggle, it's, you get people who listen and then they'll go away, and I don't know. So I'm at the point right now where I just don't want to put up with that anymore.
I'm right with you. It's like, well, I want to take my time learning Brown Eyed Girl, and I'd rather be the guy who writes a song like Brown Eyed.
Right, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So but I get the struggle. Nobody, wants to hear original things right off the bat. They want to hear things they're familiar with when they're at a bar, a venue. They want to. So that's kind of my struggle.
Right. I totally relate. Well, I hope that you can find places that will accept your music and let you play your music, because it's really worth listening to and hearing. Because
thank you. Well, I hope so too. And like you, if I'm going to do a cover, I'm going to kind of do it my way. You know what I mean? Put your own skin on.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So when we were talking before we started the interview, you mentioned your dad was an inventor. Can you tell people about that?
Dad was not musically creative, but he was artistically creative. And in fact, back in the late 1950s, Dad was the original inventor of the whole paint by number concept, the hobby craze that was really, an iconic 50s, 60s kind of a cultural thing. And that's what brought me to Toledo. The company, we were based out of Detroit, and the company was sold, and that brought us to Toledo when I was in grade school. But Dad went on and had several of his original paintings in museums and that kind of thing. So I did not get his artistic, his painting and his drawing ability. I can't draw a stick man, but I did get some of it. He could sing. I mean, back in the olden days, they didn't call it karaoke. They used to call it music minus one. And he would sing along with some of the big bands, Frank Sinatra, and that kind of thing. And that's, I remember that. And he had some chops. He could sing,
Yeah.
but most of his artistic ability was in the painting and drawing, that kind of thing. So
Yeah. So were you into like the same kind of music your dad liked? Or did you like the Frank Sinatra stuff and the big band stuff? Or?
So I mean, he was singing, songs back then, early '60s, that kind of thing. A lot of big band. I mean, not so much, but I'm wide open to any kind of genre. I like it all.
Yeah, yeah. I remember my earliest memory in my life is my parents had a huge 78 collection. And one of the 78s I really loved as a child was Boogie Woogie Bugle Boy by the Andrews Sisters. And so my first memory was taking that over to the stereo and playing it on the stereo.
Right.
So,
same kind of thing. It's exact, right. Exact same memories, that kind of thing. So it stuck with me. Yeah.
Yeah. Can you do another song for us?
Sure. So this one, I wrote during the COVID pandemic. Life was crazy, absurd, and that led me to this song. I remember thinking to myself when I started writing, most of my earlier songs before that were about how I felt, love, that kind of emotions. I said, I need to write a song like Moonshadow by Cat Stevens, something that's different, that's not, a personal heart tug kind of thing. So I wrote this song called Perfectly Absurd, and it was kind of the story of the whole life during the pandemic, in 2020, 2021, and to some degrees, it's still very relevant today. So this is Perfectly Absurd. Do, do, do. Do, 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 do. Thought I might share some absurd, just to balance out the negative words. You blend some ridiculous to counteract serious. It's perfect to be perfectly absurd. Do, 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 do. Wish that I could lasso a cloud. Oh, I would pull it to earth and learn how to sprinkle drops of humane and soak the world when it rains. Yep, I'm opening this cumulus cloud. Of course, not realistic. A musical drain swirling down all the pain. Silly, optimistic, laughable, illogical, beautiful you. The outlandish, outrageous things that you do. Shooting star, beacon bright, we look up to always. I wish that I could swallow the breeze. I'd blow compassion and love through the trees. To think a branch and a leaf will grow the shade of relief. I'm drinking in that sweet taste and breeze. Do-do-do, do-do-do. I wish I had a higher balloon, the kind you huff and puff and fly to the moon. So if anyone there knows someone full of hot air, I do. I'd gladly take a flight to the moon. Not one more statistic, a musical drain, a time out for the brain. Find your own artistic, paint your pride, mesmerize a beautiful you. Soup precise, energize the good that you do. Sacrifice, worth the price, all you pursue your way. Wish the world could hold hands, surround. We circle problems when they come around. Fight the same fight, we're stronger when we unite. Stand on the same common ground. Ooh. So maybe it's not so absurd to sing of universal love undeterred. A musical source of incredible force. The world needs your voice to be heard. The world needs your beautiful words. It's perfect to be perfectly absurd. Do 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 do.
Nice.
Perfectly absurd.
We need more songs like that in the world, I think.
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun to do and put together, right?
Yeah, it's a great song.
Thank you. Thank you.
So people can they can find your music at your website, LarryRobbinsmusic.com, and they can get it on Spotify, all the normal download sites as well.
Right, all the normal streaming platforms, it's on there. Or they can go on the website and listen to it for free, and and that kind of thing. But yeah, they're all on there, and hope to be adding more soon.
Yeah.
I'm doing them a little at a time. I put one together, I write it, I get it down. Tomorrow never comes sometimes, and I want to do it and get it done, and make sure that it's out there.
Yeah. So you mentioned you were recording right now with Kerry. When do you
It's
hope
about
to
to
have...
start? Yeah, tomorrow is. I'm scheduled to record tomorrow, our first day, and it's always interesting, to walk into the studio and somebody says, "Okay, what do you got?"
Yeah. Do you have a set idea of what each song's gonna sound like, or are you kind of
I do. And Kerry mentions, he said, it's kind of amazing. What you hear, in your head, and then try and talk to somebody about, making it sound that way. So, yeah, I have the song, and I have an idea of, what the arrangement's going to be. Yeah. Yeah. So I'm excited, and keep you posted. That's for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Do you think this music's going to be similar to what you just did with these other songs, or is it going to be...
No, I think it's going to be a little different. I think this one is going to be a little more poppy sound. The arrangement I hear in my head is a little more poppy. Quick story. This was a very dear friend who had prostate cancer, and they had a fundraiser, and the fundraiser was in downtown Toledo. There was a 35-story building, and the fundraiser was called Over the Edge, and they raised money by rappelling down this building. So I watched him do it. I mean, he's not the bravest guy in the world, but he did it. And so the name of the song that I'm going to go into the studio is called "Hey Doubters, I Did It."
Right.
So that is the challenge. And like I said, I'll have to keep you posted and see if I can pull it off. But that one's coming up. That's what we're going to go and do. "Hey Doubters, I Did It." And that was inspired by my buddy who went over the edge, rappelling down a building, trying to raise money for cancer relief.
Great. That's awesome. So we can probably find that on the website in a couple of months then, I'm guessing.
Yeah, it might be a couple of months too. Right?
I know how long. I know how these things take. I've been there.
Right. Yeah, especially people with as anal or as OCD as I am, And Kerry has great patience, I say, "Hey, Kerry, can we do this again, man?" I know we've already done it 35 times, but I'm sure the 36 is going to be
I think the 34th was better than the 39th. So,
Right.
well, thanks again, Larry, for joining us today on KC Cafe Radio. It's been a great
Awesome,
pleasure to talk to you and finally get this interview done, because I know we've been chatting about it for a while. But
I appreciate all your help too, and playing the tunes, and I really, really appreciate KC Cafe Radio and you, and thanks for all the love.
No problem. So go to his website, LarryRobbinsmusic.com, and look him up on Spotify and Amazon, all those other download sites that you frequent, and listen to his music. He's a very inspiring songwriter, so I think you'll get a lot out of just listening to his music. So thanks a lot.
Shout out.
We'll talk to you later.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Kathy. Okay, bye-bye.